A heated ice scraper that ended up not being viable in the end due to some of the principles I was learning in high school. The process was just a lot of conversation with the teacher I had at the time as I was learning some of these fundamental principles of physics and physical chemistry and things like that. And I realized that you could potentially start heating up an ice scraper for a car. I researched the science behind it. It's pretty basic, and then tried to figure out if I could match off-the-shelf like batteries and power supplies with what would be required to make that work. Actually, I wasn't so concerned about the uniqueness of it. I just kind of thought it was cool. I was into the process, and the teacher I was asking and talking to also did. So that's why I just kept moving forward. I really wasn't concerned about how unique it was at that time. If I could make it work, then great. That's really what I was focused on at that point. In fact, I can remember the class when we were talking about specific heat of materials. I started thinking that, so you can heat things up and they cool down, get a sense of that, and I started to get a practical feel for that. And then that idea arose probably within a couple weeks of that specific class where we talked about specific heat of objects. Definitely related to the things we were covering in class. I remember at lunch having conversations with because the same teacher was also our supervisor or something during lunch, so I could ask him questions about the stuff. I was energized by it. Yeah, I was driven by it. Wanted to figure out how to do it, make it work. You know, like I said, I wasn't really thinking about marketing or selling or anything. I just wanted to build that ice scraper. In the end, it ended up being, it wasn't viable because of the amount of energy that was required to heat the ice scraper before the ice scraper would be cooled down by the ice on extreme days, which is when you would use it, made it impractical. So that was the first. I think an environment where other people are doing that, just showing that it's possible, that you can take that concept or idea and turn it into something that's viable and that works, and how you do that, how you make that happen. And also an environment that has resources that enable that to happen. Because I think, in the beginning, I guess, for a child, it would be great that you just have that environment where they're building things or inventing things and moving from concept to a product or service or something. But, to the point where you need to start making money on things, absent resources in the proper network, you could waste a lot of time simply because of the question you asked before. Is it unique? Did someone else come up with it? If you're living in a vacuum of sorts, then you're having fun, and it's more of a science project as opposed to something that's going to impact the world in some way.